Preston walked into the Diamond Gala with a mistress on his arm and a smirk on his face, convinced he was the king of the world. He treated his wife Vivian like a ghost, someone to cook his meals and stay hidden while he played the big shot. But Preston made a fatal calculation. He didn't know that the exclusive invitation in his pocket wasn't just luck. It was a trap. Marcus walked into the Harrington Investment Summit with his girlfriend Jade on his arm, laughing too loud, spending too freely, convinced the world owed him everything. He had a pregnant wife named Alina at home, swollen ankles propped on a pillow, eating reheated soup because Marcus said they were cutting back on expenses. Alina didn't argue. She never did. She just quietly rubbed her belly and said, "Be safe, Marcus." What Marcus didn't know was that Alina wasn't just his pregnant wife. She was the silent majority shareholder of the Harrington Group, the very company hosting tonight's summit. She owned the building. She owned the invitation in his pocket, and tonight she had come to collect. The afternoon Marcus left, he didn't even look back. "Alina, where's my blue tie?" he barked, searching the bedroom while she stood in the doorway, 7 months pregnant, barefoot on cold tile. "Hanging behind the bathroom door," she said softly. He found it, yanked it off the hook, and walked past her without a word. No thank you, no kiss. He stopped only to check his reflection. "Don't wait up. This is a big night. Real investors, real money." "Will Jade be there?" Alina asked quietly. Marcus stiffened, then laughed, the cold, dismissive kind. "She's a colleague, Alina. Not everything is drama." He grabbed his coat. "Try to rest. You look exhausted." The door slammed. Alina stood in the silence. She looked down at her belly. Then she walked to the locked drawer in the home office, the one Marcus assumed held old tax files, and removed a sleek titanium phone. She dialed one number. "Clara," she said, her voice completely transformed, warm but precise, the voice of someone who signs 9-figure contracts without blinking. "He just left. Initiate the sequence." "The board is assembled," Mrs. Voss, her chief of operations, replied. "The car is waiting, and the presentation is loaded." "Good." Alina glanced at her reflection. "Make sure Marcus gets a front row seat." The Harrington Summit ballroom was everything money could manufacture: crystal chandeliers, white glove waiters, the kind of silence that costs $1,000 a minute to maintain. Marcus swaggered in with Jade, who wore a gold dress and giggled at everything. He spotted rivals, shook hands aggressively, and name-dropped companies he barely understood. He felt enormous. Then the lights dimmed. A voice came over the speaker. "Ladies and gentlemen, the Harrington Group is proud to introduce its founder and majority shareholder, who has chosen tonight to step forward from the shadows for the first time. Please welcome Mrs. Alina Voss." Marcus laughed reflexively. "Voss, that's my—" The doors opened. A woman descended the staircase in a deep emerald gown, her dark hair swept back, her posture unhurried and devastating. A 7-month baby bump, proudly visible, adorned with a simple diamond pendant that caught every light in the room. She looked like royalty carrying the future inside her. Marcus couldn't breathe. Jade tugged his sleeve. "Marcus, is that your wife?" He said nothing, because Alina, his tired, soup-eating, ankle-swollen wife, was walking toward him like she owned the room, because she did. She stopped 10 feet away. She didn't cry. She didn't rage. She smiled the way a chess player smiles when the final move has already been made 3 turns ago. "Marcus," she said simply. "Alina," his voice cracked. "What is this? You shouldn't be here. You're pregnant," she finished. "Yes, 7 months. You forgot my last appointment, by the way. I went alone." The room was cathedral silent. She turned to the microphone. Her voice filled the ballroom. "5 years ago, I inherited a company built by my mother, a woman who coded software in a studio apartment and sold her patent for $60 million. I took that foundation and built the Harrington Group into what it is today. But I made one mistake." She paused. "I fell in love with a man who only saw what I could give him, so I ran an experiment. I stepped back. I played the quiet wife. I let him take credit, take money, take space." The screen behind her lit up, a corporate chart. At the top, Harrington Group. Below it, Shell Companies. At the bottom, barely clinging on, Voss Capital Ventures, Marcus's firm. Every investor in his portfolio, Alina said calmly, is a subsidiary of mine. Every deal he closed, my legal team facilitated. He has been negotiating with my own lawyers for 2 years, thinking they were independent clients. Gasps rolled through the crowd. The Tokyo deal last spring, she continued. That was my acquisition team, the Berlin conference. I hosted it under a different name. He flew business class on my corporate account and expensed it as client development. She clicked the remote. Hotel receipts appeared, dinner charges. A weekend in Napa, Alina had been home with morning sickness that weekend, eating crackers alone. I paid for every lie, Alina said, while carrying his child. The room exhaled. Somewhere a woman started crying. Marcus lurched forward. You set me up. This is entrapment, Alina. I built that firm. You built nothing. Her voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. You borrowed everything, my money, my name, my silence, and I let you because I kept hoping you would choose us. She touched her belly just once, briefly. You never did. 2 federal agents stepped forward from the back of the room. Wire fraud, corporate embezzlement. Misuse of nonprofit funds. Marcus had funneled charity grants through a children's literacy foundation Alina had started in her mother's name. That detail broke the room. As they cuffed him, Marcus turned back. His voice went small, smaller than she'd ever heard it. I love you, Alina, the baby. Will be loved, she said simply. By me, fully, the way a child deserves. The doors closed behind him. Alina stood alone in the spotlight, one hand resting on her belly, the other holding a glass of water. She looked out at 500 of the most powerful people in the country. To honest beginnings, she said, raising her glass. The room rose to its feet. 8 months later, Alina sat in a hospital room, her newborn daughter sleeping on her chest. Outside the window, Manhattan glittered. Her phone buzzed, a message from Clara. He accepted the settlement. He gets nothing. Alina looked down at her daughter's face, tiny, perfect, unknowing. You'll never have to pretend to be small, she whispered. Not for anyone. She didn't break, she didn't beg. She built in silence, gave everything, and when the time came, she simply showed up. Some people mistake a woman's patience for weakness. They forget that the most powerful things on earth grow quietly, diamonds, roots, and the love of a mother who has already decided her child will inherit a better world. If this story moved you, if you've ever been underestimated by someone who was supposed to protect you, drop a below. You are not invisible. Your silence is not weakness. And your comeback, it's already being written. Subscribe and hit the bell because every week we tell the stories of women who refuse to stay quiet.